Okay, hello. So this conversation is for you if you have made your way to human design, you've made your chart and you found out that you're a projector, or you've done your family chart or a family member's chart and you found out that they're a projector. So firstly, welcome to human design and welcome to the fact that you're a projector. Fabulous. I'm a projector too. And I want to start by acknowledging that you have likely felt very different than other people around you. And I'm here to tell you that human design is here to acknowledge that differentness and give you permission to be different. So you'll likely have felt already that you've been maybe unable to keep up with everyone else, but you've been trying to. You've been trying to live the same as everyone else around you and maybe not enjoying it as much as everyone else, or just not able to do as much as they're doing. And you're asking yourself, well, why? What am I doing wrong? Maybe you're feeling misunderstood by people around you, not feeling seen by people around you, that you're doing, and they're just not seeing you. If you're here because of a family member, it's likely that projector who doesn't know they're a projector will feel this way too, to some extent. Now, truly, projectors are not here to live the same way as the majority of the world. And that may be a relief to even hear that as a projector, because I know for me, it definitely was. I know this was the first system to explain to me why I was so different than everyone else and why I couldn't live the same as my family, for example. So I want to give you some permission straight off the bat, which is that you are not here to keep up with everyone else. And you're not here to work the 9 to 5 in that way. And you're not here to run the same race as everyone else. So it's time to leave that race and enter your own path. And I hope that feels freeing to hear. Now, firstly, why did we become so conditioned to do more, to be more? So as projectors, this all starts from when we're growing up. It always starts from childhood. So most of the time you will have grown up around generators. Generators are 70% of the world. They're here to be doing, working, creating. They would have been your family, your parents, your teachers, your friends. Now for you, you're not here to be that 70%. You're here for a different role. You're here to be seen and recognized as a guide. Yet you were born into a family where you cannot guide because you're learning. At 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, as you're growing up, you're not in that guidance position because there's a hierarchy. Your parents know best because you're not seen as that guide, but you are wise beyond your years. And your family likely do not and did not deeply see you as you needed them to. And they were more focused on themselves. Now, that's because they're designed to be very different than you. They are designed to look more inwards. They're here to know themselves. They do not realize that you feel different and need different things than them, that you need to be acknowledged and to be seen and to be recognized. Now, naturally for you, you make sense of who you are and the world around you by being an observer of life, by observing people. Very often becoming then what you see, which is a big trap. You're not here to become what you see, what you observe, but you are here to observe, to just observe. You are designed to observe because you're here to know people very deeply. It's part of who we are, that projector curiosity, that projector intuition about people. But you would have wanted to be seen by your family or by your friends or by your teachers, whoever it was. So you would have shown them your artwork or you would have done some sports. And if you were lucky, you would have been recognized. But most projectors, their parents or their caregivers or their teachers or their friends would have just brushed past it. And that's where we start to learn bitterness from when we're young. Because when we don't feel seen, we get this sense of bitterness when we try to force that being seen. No, mum, look, look, look. So then this carries on into schooling and then friendships and then on to work, into our adult lives. And we get so used to not being seen and so used to not being understood. Therefore, we don't know who we are. We don't feel accepted for who we are. So we just keep going, trying to find out and prove ourselves and work harder. So we end up growing into people who never know when enough is enough and always trying to win the attention of those around us, trying to prove our sense of self-worth to ourselves and to others. in the hope that we are truly seen and recognized for who we are, so that someone can see us. And while we're growing up, we are all observers of the world as projectors, so we learn a lot about people. We're curious, we want to know the depths of those around us. Many of us are intuitive and instinctual about this. We can easily see what other people should be doing. We can easily guide other people. That's how we're designed. But most of us, in our attempt at guiding the other, will have felt a sense of bitterness because it wasn't well received. And it can feel like this sort of sick joke, like, I have this information, I want to guide people, but no one's listening. It can be frustrating. It can be just forming that sense of bitterness. But we often know things way beyond our time, months, years before it happens. Now, enough of explaining how and why we are the way we are. What about what we are here to be? So listen, projectors are here as the newest energy type. And newness always means misunderstood, not understood. It always means misunderstood. You're here to feel a deep feeling of contentment, and that's our projector success. You are here for success in all areas of your life. It's not material success or success that's labeled by society. It's a feeling of recognition. You as a projector are one of the 20% of the world who have this focused and absorbing aura, an aura which zooms in on the other to learn about them. This is how we know so much about other people. It's why we're so intuitive and curious about people. Your aura is designed to penetrate deeply into other people and learn. That's why we can feel so unbalanced when we look inwards too far, too much of the time. That feeling of bitterness I was speaking about, not feeling seen, recognized, or understood, is actually your signpost that you are forcing something, that you are interacting in a way which is not correct for you, or that you're expecting something from a situation or a person, something that your mind is attached to. Now, one of the main dichotomies of being a projector is that you are a great guide to other people, but you are really not a great guide to yourself. We cannot turn our advice inwards. We have to learn outside of ourselves by looking at our mirrors of other people around us, to look outside to learn. And to navigate life, we therefore have to surrender and relax into the co-creation of experience. We have to wait for invitations of people inviting themselves or inviting experiences into your life. And we'll speak more about this. As a projector, you have a key role now. As the newest energy type, the projector is here to guide. You're here to guide us through changes which are happening on the planet already. There are some big shifts that are coming. You may have heard about 2027. There's a global cycle shift happening in human design. If not, I will talk about this more in another video. The global cycle shift is going to cause a lot of changes in our world, and we're here to guide through that. And part of that is to be ready, and the time is now to learn that. Yet to be ready, you have to see people and you have to understand people through a system. This is how we guide as projectors. It's how you find success as a projector, guidance and guiding through a system. And it could be any system. It can be a modality like human design or astrology. It could be through a subject like finances or physiotherapy. It can be through creative pursuits such as art or music. It doesn't matter what the system is or what the thing is, but you are here to know people through the lens of a system. It helps you see people more clearly. Now, why is this all important? Now, when we talk about projector alignment and projector success, we need to paint an entirely new image than the one we have of success in society now. The Western world currently is not really designed for anyone to thrive, but especially not projectors. A projector in alignment is different for each and every projector, yet there are always the same components. You will be doing less than the people around you, right? Less than the 70% of the world. You will be feeling success or a movement towards success during your alignment. You will be feeling recognized for your guidance. You will be feeling less bitterness or able to spot it more clearly. You'll be able to spend time observing people, having time to be curious about people, to observe. Now, how do you get to this? And what is your specific alignment and success going to look like? Well, your specific success is very individual than you. So this is the science of differentiation after all. And you can find incredibly sophisticated and intricate information in your charts. And I would recommend a human design reading to truly understand how your chart describes you. But either way, to align with your success as a projector, to align with your path, you will need to start co-creating with those around you through those invitations. You will need to turn your gaze outwards to find your balance rather than inwards, rather than thinking, what am I doing? What about this? What about that? Turn the gaze outwards. Who is recognizing me? Who needs my help? You will need to surrender to the timings of other people rather than your inner knowing about timing. Projectors tend not to know the right time. We are way ahead of everyone else with our timing. So as you're preparing for the right timing, the invitations come in to say, right, this is where you're needed. This is the group of people. This is how you can help. But otherwise we end up forcing it before it's time. To align is to wait for your strategy. And that is waiting for the invitation. It's stopping to listen to your mind and seeing the mind as a separate entity and not listening to the chatter of the mind, the thoughts of the mind, ignoring those and waiting for the invitation. So invitations are our signposts. There are navigational points in life. And without an invitation, there is nothing to decide on because there is nothing to navigate. And when I say this, I refer to the decision moments. I'm not referring to you in your everyday life of sustaining yourself. You do not need an invitation to go to the shops or to eat or to shower. Invitations are for our energetic interactions with other people, who we allow into our lives based on who is inviting themselves into our lives. It's not the other way around. We're not here to invite ourselves into someone else's life or force our way into someone's life. They're going to invite themselves in. And invitations are from people, and those people invite you into jobs, relationships, experiences, house moves, whatever it's going to be. The idea with projectors is we're here and designed to glide from experience to experience, to flow between the invitations. And when you do this, you align with the path which leads to your projector success. And if you're starting out, here's what I'd recommend. I would start watching for the moments you feel bitterness. Moments where you feel misunderstood or unrecognized, or recognized for the wrong things. You're not here to be recognized as someone who's ultra productive and always working, busy, busy, busy. So notice the moments that you're feeling bitterness. Start to notice the role that you're playing in that bitterness. So ask yourself the question every time you feel bitterness, am I forcing a conversation here? Am I forcing my advice on this person? Am I trying to force myself to be seen by my friend, by my lover, by my parent? What are you forcing? What are you trying to make happen? And then ask yourself, where is your resistance? Why are you trying to make that happen? And can you just watch and observe to allow it to come to you? Because the right things will come to you. The right things will invite you. And start to notice, as a secondary thing, start noticing compliments. Start noticing compliments and start accepting compliments. Projectors are very bad at seeing themselves because we look so far outwards, and that's how we find our balance, and that's how we glide. That's how we glide and guide. So start accepting the compliments, start believing them, because it helps you to start feeling accepting of yourself and your talents. Believe them. This then leads to starting to notice the invitations around you. I find noticing compliments can be a first step, but we're really trying to notice the invitations. And they're more common than you think. They can be really small, but they can also be really big. Look for those specific invitations which have come to you unmanipulated, right? Because a lot of projectors come to human design, they're like, right, I need an invitation, I'm going to manipulate this. Hey, do you want me to help you? I would start by just watching what invitations come to you. from another person who recognizes you for your essence, your true essence, you'll feel that. You'll feel the difference between someone who sees you and someone that doesn't. Someone who's trying to manipulate you with the invitation. When I first came to human design, I had people saying, oh, you build websites. I invite you to build a website for me for free. It's like, that doesn't feel aligned. Nope. So start noticing your people recognizing you for your true essence. And often invitations are accompanied by support or resources. So it might be, someone might say, you know what, if you wrote that book, I would totally read it. And I want to help you by editing it. I can't give you a book deal. I can't give you this, but I can edit it with you. Or I can't, be your teacher in something, but I can study with you. So it's often accompanied by support or resources. So this is the starting point. This is how projectors start to align. But start giving yourself the permission that projectors are here to be very different. Don't worry if you can't keep up with people around you. Start figuring out your boundaries, your energy levels. Start making time in your day, space in your day. Anything you're feeling, now give yourself permission to think that's normal. Because so much of a projector's life is going, but something's wrong. The amount of blood tests I got sent to see if I was anemic or not, because I was so tired. I was more tired than my parents who are 30 years older than me. No, nothing was wrong. So just start accepting yourself as normal, different, and seeing what comes out of that, seeing where people are noticing you, seeing where you're trying to force life, and to start to shed some of that conditioning that you're here to be different than what you feel you should be. That you should be more energetic, more keeping up, more busy. It's just not for projectors. So this is an introduction to what a projector is, what's involved with the conditioning, and how to move forward. There'll be more conversations on things like invitations, what they are, how to spot them, and other projector conversations. But we'll start here. Thanks for listening.